Good morning there, Murray's Readers and Leaders. This is Author Roy Murry for Books for the Inquisitive Mind. I have a jewel for you today. I finished it the other day. I finished another book, which I'm not giving a video on, but this book stands out. It's called Soiled Doves, Prostitution in the Early West of the United States of America. The Wild West, where men were men and very few women. There were like one woman to every 5 or 6 men, sometimes even more in the mining towns, where there'd be 12 women and 100 men. It was something else. Well, the story is given the historic story of this, with many short stories in it about biographies or things some of these women, these prostitutes, these ladies of easy virtue, as they say, is given in this book here, okay? And it's done by Anne Seagraves. She does an excellent job. Just listen to one thing, and I'm a very believer in this. Although Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves in 1863, an even more corrupt form of slavery continued to exist in America for over 47 years, and that's called white slavery. And we know about trafficking. There's been a major bust there in Europe on pedophiles. Well, there's another step from that, is trafficking women and children for sex, which I find very terrible. If a woman wants to, and in the case of in the Wild West, wittingly, unwittingly, and voluntarily, they gave sex favors to survive. Now, some were slavery of their situation. Some of them got married. Men married them. It depended on the community whether they were accepted or not in a brothel, in a Bordeaux is what they had. They had hoity-toity dance bars where the women would go up to be some rooms in the back. And this is happening in other parts of the world. Not so much in the United States. We have strip bars, and the girls go in the back and do what they want to do for money. And so that part of, I would say, a form of prostitution is still going on. I myself have traveled to many countries of the world, and I'll tell no lie, I partake in the love of a woman for money in a massage parlor or a brothel. Singapore, I went to Singapore a couple of times, and there it's open. In a lot of countries, in Taiwan, they have an island just for that. So their soldiers will enjoy themselves and they're protected. In Curacao, they have a place where the doctors check. And in the West, in a lot of communities, the women were checked by doctors and weren't allowed to work unless they were. The West could not have been won, or the frontier of the United States of America, from Ohio over to California and up to Montana, could not have been won, or maybe that's not the right word, developed, unless it was for these women who, a number of them decided that's what they wanted to do. Some became madams, get proficient in what they did. Some were beautiful, some were just ordinary women. Some got married, some got their fortune and traveled someplace else. Even men, married them and moved someplace else so they wouldn't be known. However, there are some famous names in this. Calamity Jane, who was very famous, and that even sold her body for money when she didn't have a nickel, so to speak. I don't know how much they got. Some of them go from $10 to $100, depending on what proficiency, what was in the rooms, what was in the bars, a number of reasons, according to Miss Ann Seagram. It's a very interesting book, and it's part of the American history, the US of A. Unfortunately, around the world, it's not as clean cut as it was at that time. This is Roy Murray, out. See you later, alligator. Thank you for coming. I hope you buy this book. It's down in my description. Have a good day. See you later, alligator.